Hello, and welcome to Michell Consulting's webinar series for our Michell University. Today we're going to be working with SAP Business One, and we're going to go over the concept of campaign management. This is a new functionality that's in SAP version 8.82. So again, today for purpose of the demo, we'll be using that version, SAP Business One version 8.82, and we're going to talk about the campaign management. We're going to discuss three sections today. We're going to talk about planning a campaign. This allows us to select and maintain target groups. We can include external target groups as well, which we'll review. We can talk about executing the campaign. We're going to do that with the campaign wizard. We're going to process a campaign, execute with different mediums. For example, we can do an email campaign, a phone, fax, and so on. And then we'll track the campaign. We'll talk about maintaining the campaign information, generating sales opportunities, and maintaining and analysis results from the campaign. So let's talk about a few things before we begin. Let's talk about the concept of target groups. This allows us to actually define the group of business partners and external contacts that we want to use. So we're going to go into, and this is an option, it doesn't have to be set up, but again, this is a nice option to be used because we can pull information from outside of SAP. We're going to go to Administration. We're going to go to Setup. We're going to go into Business Partners, and here we have what's known as our target groups. For purposes of here, I have one set up. You can see we created a target group code, new sales, with a target group name. Once I create that, I can just double-click, and you can see here that I have some business partners already brought into the system. So we can get business partners from SAP Business One. So let's just open this up a little bit bigger. And you can see this information is coming from SAP. What I can do is here I can tab in my selection. And again, I can choose a business partner or lead. So if I want to do, let's say we have a lead here. We want to bring the lead in. We can choose. We can bring the lead in. We can also do an import from outside of SAP. So here we're going to go and we're going to do an import. And again, this is using the import from Excel functionality that's in SAP Business One. We do have a detailed webinar on our website for this. You can visit us at www.mitchellgroup.com to view that to get more detail on the SAP import and export functionality. But here what we're going to do is we're going to actually bring in a target group. So we're going to say right here, and we're going to determine, based on our Excel spreadsheet, what we have. I have a sample. So what I'm doing is I have a BP code. I have a BP name. I have a contact person, and I have an email. And again, you can see all the information that you can set up here. You can see that this information is what we have up here. So again, if we want to add additional information, such as the title of the person, the position, the phone, and so on, we can add all that information. This has to correspond to our Excel file, which is saved as a tab delimited file. So we have these features here. So we're going to just click OK. We're going to select our file. I have that on my desktop. I'm going to click Open. And you can see that we brought this in. So we have our BP code, our BP name, Michell Consulting. We have myself as a contact and my email. Again, all that information can be brought in. So we're just going to go ahead and update this. All right, so now we have our target group. So again, if we double-click, we can see our new target group. So we can define these target groups. These are nice because we can do specific campaigns related to specific types. In here, for example, BP groups, we may want to do a campaign that we're selling to, say, large accounts or materials to a construction and so on. So it's nice. It's a nice functionality. We can actually set that up. So let's see how that works. Okay. The next thing we're going to do now is we're going to actually execute the campaign. So this is done with the campaign wizard. So we're going to go into Business Partners, and you can see our campaign generation wizard. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. And you can see that we can create campaigns based on an existing campaign. You see we have two here. So we can select one of these and do a campaign on top of a campaign or a follow-up using the same one, or we can create a new campaign. So we're going to go here and we're going to create a new campaign, and we're going to call it the SAP Demo Campaign. Okay. So let's just, again, put some information so we can see what we're doing. We can click Next. So again, you can see the campaign name. You can see the campaign type, what we want to do. We can do an email campaign, a regular mailing campaign. We can set up, if we're interfaced with our faxing, we can send it via fax. We can set this up to be a phone call, a meeting, and so on. I'm just going to leave it as email campaign for now. Here's the target group. And again, if you want, we can tab, and we can select our target group. So we're going to select our new sales. Here's the owner. And again, these are based on the employees of SAP. So if I want to create an owner, so I can track this, you can see that I am logged in as Jason. So I'm going to choose Jason Butler. Okay, just again, I don't have to put that, but this is easy for me to track what's going on. The start date, again, for purpose of the demo, my demo is set for January 1st, 2012. So let's say we're going to run this campaign for 3 months. So we're going to say 03/31. So we're going to run it through here. Here we can select specific items. So say we're doing a campaign and we're targeting some of our items. We want to have a sale on these items. We can choose items. Again, I'm just going to tab. And let's say we're doing a campaign that's related to these 3 IBM printers. All right, we can choose that. We can also add partners. Okay, these are people that are not our business partners. These are not our customers, but these are people that we're working with. So we can actually define partners in this setup, and we can look at a different type of partner. Maybe we're working with a mailing house, or working with somebody else that's related to the campaign. So again, we can just add that if we want. Here's the remarks. Again, it's just coming from here. Again, we can add whatever we want. And we can also choose the campaign template. So here I don't really have any setup, but we can actually create a template. That would be for if we want to do a specific mailer. We may want to create a template in our mailer, or we want to create templates in our emails. So we can just have a nice little template. So let's click Next. And you can see how everything came over. You can see that these came over from our target groups. You can see that the lead that we added came over, as well as the MCG. We have the arrows here because these are actual, and these are actually leads and business partners within SAP. You can see here we have a lead, okay, and then this is the MCG we want. At this point, we can continue. We can add. So we can go to our business partners. Let's say here, the business partner groups. Again, if we just want to go through here, let's take our not-profit. Let's see if we have anything there. We don't. Let's go back to our construction and so on. So you can see that we just brought in this one here, so we can bring in constructions. We can also do our import from here as well. So we had that import on the target, but we don't really have to have it on the target. We could have come here, and without the target, we could have just done our import here. So again, the same principle. If I didn't want to use that, I can just have my my lead sheet here, and I can bring it in. Same principle holds true. And we'll bring the information here. So these are the business partners that I'm using. You can see here, again, we can sort to see what's going on, and we can see everybody we're working with. So we're going to go next. And here we have a couple of things. We can save the campaign and exit. If we don't want to execute it right now, we can come back into it and do it. So if we save the campaign and exit, we click Next, you can see that we've done that, and we can see it's been created here, but we can actually go back and call it back up. You can see right here, here it is. And again, we can just continue on to the campaign. So we can give it a different name. So we can actually do it that way, and we can save it. So let's go back. Let's select this one. And let's just call this the SAP demo campaign. Again, you see all our information's here. Just going to give it the name. We can go next. So here now we can actually save the campaign as well as execute it. And we have some information. We can do generate an external list. This just gives a list of everybody if we want to make phone calls or do something outside of SAP. We can send it using Outlook Office. Again, SAP has an Outlook integration with Office. We can use the standard SAP emailing system, which is up here, okay, or we can send the fax and so on. I'm going to use the general one here just because I don't have the Outlook integration set up on my demo, but you can actually do the Outlook integration and do it directly through. Outlook integration is a functionality that's built into SAP. So we're just going to do it through this one. We're going to click Next, and you're going to see it's going to use the send message, and it's going to send here the send message. I can type in some text. I can add some attachments and so on. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to click cancel, but if I send it, would actually send it out. So again, you can see that we created another campaign. So we created campaign number 4. Okay, so we're just going to close this, and now we're going to go to our campaigns. So that was the execution of the campaigns. Now we executed that, and what that's going to do is some things. It's going to actually create internally. The execution is going to create the emails or faxes, however you want to send out. So emails would have gone out. It's also going to create activities for all the different customers. Then what we can do is we can use those activities to follow up on the campaign. So here we can go into the tracking of the campaign by going to campaign. And again, you can see our last campaign here was number 4. Again, you can look here and you can see that this has created for these different partners. Let's look at, for example, Earthshaker. Let's open up the Earthshaker. Let's go to our activities. And you can see here, we created this one here at the end. So we created an activity. You can see that this activity is a campaign that's defined. And you can see all the information about the activity. This date, contact we put, any linked documents. You can see document number 4, which is the actual link to the campaign itself. So what we've done is nice. We've actually created that. So now we can follow up on these contacts. Again, we can see how these activities are coming in, and we can follow up on those campaign information here. And again, this allows us to do some stuff. We can see if we've got a response. So let's look at Earthshaker here. Let's see if we want a response. We can look at the document type. Do we want to look at a sales opportunity, a sales quotation, or so on? So let's say we go to sales quotation. And we can show the BP documents if we have any for this. And we can look at document numbers. So let's say we're going to create a sales quotation for them. We can link that. So we can go here and say the document type, and we can create a sales quotation. We can update this. And again, we see all the information here related to what we've done. We can show the BP documents, and we can go here, and we can, if we have document numbers, we can actually create the sales quotes, and we can link them here. So let's say we generated a response from this person. We can open up the activity. We can then enter information on the activity, so we can go here. We can look at our related activities. And again, we can create a follow-up. You can see it's going to be a continuation of the campaign. We can look at the content. Let's say we spoke with client and created a quote. We can link the documents here if we wanted to. We would have to actually define a quote, so let's actually create the quote, and we can add the quote here. Again, we can add that here. So again, we have the ability of entering all that information. We can define a quote, and we can send quotes out. So what the tracking of the campaign allows us to do is see that information. Again, in real time, we can execute it, and we can track the campaign. It allows us to easily review and update campaign information from a central location. New business partners are automatically created, which saves the time. And again, it enhances profitability. So if we look here, we have all the information that we need. We look at this one here. Again, we can see if we have a response. We can show any BP documents that we would have. And again, we can enter all the information. So let's review what we went over today. We can show how that works. We talked about the campaign functionality and new functionality that's in SAP Business One. We talked about how we can set up target groups. Again, we can go into our setup, our business partners, and our target groups. Here we can define a target group. We can determine who we want on the group. We can also use the import functionality to, again, import from outside of SAP, in this case an Excel spreadsheet. We can bring it in if we wanted to. We can do that here at the target group level as well as in the campaign itself. We saw how now we would go into the business partner module, and we would see here that we have our campaign generation wizard. We can generate a campaign. Again, we can see we have campaigns here that we've generated. We can go to the process, generating campaigns, tracking inventory information with them, and so on. You can see we have 4 set up. At that point, we can actually go into the campaign. We can then look at this campaign. Again, we can see information about the campaign, what we're tracking on the campaign. Again, we can look at items on the campaign. So we've looked at these 3 items. Again, that's what we decided. We can actually add additional items if we want on the campaign. We can look at our partners. Again, these are outside of SAP. Maybe it's a partner we're related to, somebody we're working with. And we can attach attachments outside of SAP. This is standard functionality in the SAP Business One software that we can actually browse and attach documents. For example, I have a purchase quote here. If I click Update, you can see here that I have a purchase quote. If I want to display it, again, I can do standard functionality within SAP Business One to attach outside. We have a purchase quote. We can attach the documents here related to the campaigns. And again, we can go here and we can search the information. And what this does, it creates a activity. So if we go to, in this case, Earthshaker, we look at our related activities. Again, you can see the activity that was created here. You can see this one, and then we added another activity, which is a continuation of the campaign. So we can go here, and again, we can look at our activity information. So a nice functionality, nice way of centralizing everything. Lets me maintain a campaign from one centralized location. Lets me work with the campaigns. And again, once I'm done, you can see here, I can either cancel or finish the campaign once it's complete. But I can use this to constantly update my information. So if I have any documents here, we have some sales orders. And we can tab and we can call up a sales order. And again, we can track that document with a simple link. and we can see the document within the actual system. So again, very nice centralized location. You can see here there's a sales order for one of those items. So the campaign allows us the flexibility and the functionality to centralize our CRM, part of our CRM 360 as we call it in SAP. So that concludes our demonstration today of the SAP Business One campaign management. This webinar is being recorded. It'll be available on our website. You can visit us at www.mitchellgroup.com to view this, as well as our other webinars as part of our Michell University. And we thank you for your time.